You know, in any really solid study, there's this secret weapon, a master plan that makes all the difference. It's what separates a good question from a really great answer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that plan, the research design.
Okay, so picture this. Every great piece of research starts with that aha moment, right? A flash of brilliance. But what happens right after that? Let's talk about that feeling, because if you've ever done any kind of research, you know exactly what I mean.
So, you've done it. You've battled through all the noise, you've read a mountain of papers, and boom, you've nailed down a sharp, insightful research problem. It feels amazing for like 5 seconds. And then this giant question mark just pops up over your head. Now what?
I love this phrase from our source material. It calls this next step the formidable problem that follows. It just captures it perfectly, doesn't it? It's kind of like deciding you're going to build this incredible, breathtaking cathedral. You can see it in your mind's eye, but you have zero blueprints, no engineering specs, no plan at all. You have the vision, but absolutely no idea how to make it real.
So what's the path forward? What's the architect's plan for this intellectual cathedral you're trying to build? Well, that question right there gets us to the absolute heart of what we're talking about today. The solution to that formidable problem, it has a name. It's your research design. And let me tell you, this is probably the single most important thing you'll put together after you have your problem, because it literally dictates everything that comes next.
All right, so our source material gives us this pretty formal definition. It talks about combining two crucial things, being relevant to the research purpose and having an economy and procedure. So what does that really mean? In simple terms, it's about figuring out how to stay perfectly on track with your goal without wasting a single drop of time, money, or effort.
Exactly. To boil it all down, your research design is the master plan. It's the strategy that gets you from that big question you started with all the way to a valid, believable answer. It's not just a to-do list. It's a whole coherent strategy.
So if we're calling it a blueprint, what's actually printed on it? What are the big decisions that a good research design forces you to make way before you even think about collecting a single piece of data?
A really solid research design makes you answer these huge questions right at the start. It forces you to get specific about not just what you're studying, but where you'll do it, when, how much data you'll actually need, and the exact methods you're going to use. Answering these early is what saves you from those catastrophic project-killing mistakes down the line. You know, like realizing 6 months in that you can't actually answer your original question with the data you've been collecting. Oof.
Now, it's really tempting to think, okay, great, just give me the one perfect research design. But, it's not that simple. Just like with construction, the kind of blueprint you need depends entirely on what you're trying to build.
And this is absolutely crucial. There is no one-size-fits-all research design. Our source material really hammers this home. A researcher's most important decision is picking the right plan for their specific goal. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you're just exploring a brand new area, trying to get some initial ideas. That's an exploratory study. Your design is going to be like an architect's first sketch. It's flexible, it's open, you're just discovering things. But if you're testing a very specific idea, a hypothesis, then you need something totally different. You need a design that's like a final engineering plan, where every single detail is precise and locked in. See? Different goals, totally different blueprints. So all of this leads us to a really simple but really powerful conclusion about what a research design actually does for the success or failure of a study.
A really well-thought-out research design basically makes sure your project is standing on two super strong pillars. The first one is relevance to the purpose. That means everything you do is tied directly back to your main question. And the second is economy and procedure, which just means you're being as efficient as possible. If you get those two right, you're building a study that's not just effective, it's also smart.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. Without that master blueprint, are you actually doing research? Or are you just sort of wandering around collecting a bunch of interesting facts? A good research design is what gives you the structure, the logic, and the strategy. It's what turns simple fact gathering into a powerful, meaningful, and credible investigation.